What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Miss Leda, and I am back with another video. I hope you guys are having a blessed and wonderful day, hunty. So today I have none other than Gangsta Moji, aka Buddha, aka Burnt Chocolate Chip, aka Get
Shut
on My
up.
Nerves, aka
Shut up.
whatever name I can think of.
What up,
So
y'all? Hey, everybody.
y'all know he be going on and saying all kinds of things to me, so I gotta hit him where it hurt too. He just don't even understand. But so today we're gonna do an interview in regards to Gangsta Moji's son. So this
Okay.
shall be interesting. Y'all know he a little wop, so pray for him as he go through this interview. He ain't never had an interview with Miss Alita.
Okay.
All right. So tell me, how did you lose custody of your son?
Okay. This is way, way, way long time ago. This is like in 1993, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started dating this chick. I'm not gonna even say her name, nothing like that. Started fooling around with this chick. Uh, and back then you got to understand, I wasn't the same person then as I am now, which probably played into the reason why a lot of things happened the way it did at that time. But anyway, started dating this chick, ended up getting her pregnant, moved in with her in her apartment or whatever, and during that time, she was pregnant. I found out she was doing drugs. And so when I found out she was doing drugs, I ended up, getting violent with her, was basically telling her, you're not going to be doing drugs while you're pregnant with my baby in your stomach. And, this, that, and the third, just going on the rant with all that type of stuff. And at the same time, while I was trying to, lay down the law in the house, I was still ripping, running the streets, being a thug, gangster, whatever you want to call it. I started doing my thing, sleep with different women, just all of the above. And long story short, this woman ended up having the baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
She had the baby, and the doctors from the hospital called and was like, is there a way I could contact her? And I was like, I've been lost contact with her because before she had the baby, me and her had separated, broke up, and all that type of stuff. But they said that she gave birth to the baby and she ran out of the hospital. Now, if that's true or not, I don't know. But they called me trying to contact her, and they couldn't contact her. And then shortly after the baby was born, I was incarcerated. And so the baby went into the foster care system because they wasn't able to, do any type of dealings with me because I was incarcerated. The mother had abandoned the child, ran off, and didn't want the child or whatever. And so I ended up doing like maybe, I think I did 3.5, 4 years in prison at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how my child ended up actually going into the foster care system.
Okay. So let me ask you this: how's the relationship now with his mom?
My relationship with his mom,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a relationship at all. Actually, we can't stand each other. And for one, it's because the way I treated her, which I understand that, but at the same time, like she threw in some lies and stuff. And I mean, it's all old, but she's still living in that past stuff. She's still telling the kids nowadays that that I still, if she saw me today, I probably would put hands on her, which is a lie because I put hands on her way back then in 1992, 93, or whatever. And so we don't walk on the same ground, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, definitely. Okay. So what steps and measures did you take to actually find him?
Okay, so when I got out of prison, uh, I think it was maybe like 2 weeks before I actually got out. The courts had contacted me because they knew I was getting out, and they said that they was going to schedule a court date for me to actually get custody of my son, that he was still in foster care. So I like, cool. So once I got out, I contacted the courts. They sent me a court date, and I actually showed up for court. And so this court date was supposed to be for me to get custody of my son and start providing for him and taking care of him and all this type of stuff. And so I'm thinking now around this time, he's probably 4 or 5 years old, right? And he's had no mother, no father in his life, well, biological. Of course, I'm pretty sure the state been taking care of him some kind of way, but he didn't have his real family to provide for him and take care of him and be there for him. So I go to court, and when I go to court, I'm sitting there just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then it's crazy how this happened because I remember leaving out the courtroom, going to use the restroom, stopped at the water fountain to grab a drink of water, and I overheard the DA talking to somebody else who was saying that pretty much that they was going to convince me to sign over my rights. That's what the court date was for. It was never for me to be there to get my son or to get custody of my son. They was getting me there to sign over my rights so they could move forward with the foster care situation or the adoption process, whatever they had going. And so when I heard that, I ran out the courtroom, jumped in my car, took off, and I started trying to figure out what my son was on my own without the help of the court system, just by talking to different people and things of that nature, which led to nothing.
Okay. So, how did you actually get a hold of him?
Actually, he got a hold of me. And so this what was going on. So this what happened. So I was reaching out to his mom. Like I said, once again, me and her, we don't walk on the same ground. We don't see eye to eye. We don't dance to the same music. So I was reaching out to her. Several times I reached out to her and said, hey, I want to find my son. Where is he? And she would always point me in the wrong direction and send me on this wild goose chase, just chasing after the wind, basically. And so one day, a few years ago, I was on the phone with my daughter, right? I was on the phone with my daughter, and she said, hey, Dad, she said, I'm dating this guy. This is my daughter told me. She said, I'm dating this guy, and he said he has a brother that's saying you're his dad. And I said, well, what's the boy's name? The brother name. She said, his name is the same as yours. I said, did she say his mother's name? And then he named that woman that I was dating that had the baby and ran away from the hospital, that abandoned the child. And so I said, can you get in touch with him? And so she started trying to get in touch with this son on her own, but her and the dude had broke up, whatever, fell out. He wasn't talking to her, and so nothing happened on that end. And so it was about maybe another 6 months after that, after me and my daughter had that conversation, where I was actually just beginning the Gangsta Moji YouTube channel. I think I was. And I received a phone call on Facebook Messenger. I answered the call, and the person said, hey, are you Gangsta Moji? And I'm like, yep, that's me. And I'm like, well, who are you? And they told me the name. Then we did that verification type thing, asking about the mother and when he was born and all that. And then that's how he found me. Mm-hmm. And what led him to my Facebook and how he found my Facebook page, because my Facebook page didn't have my real name on it. I don't know how my son went about finding out all that information to find me, but he found me, he contacted me, and that was the first day we met, was through Facebook Messenger. We talked on the phone.
Okay. So now what have you done to make up for lost time?
Honestly, I wouldn't actually say that I've done things to make up for lost time, but I will say that me and my son, we have established a father-son relationship. So like I said, once he called me on Facebook Messenger, I said, hold on. Let me give you my real phone number. Call me on the phone and we can finish this conversation. So I gave him my number. He called me instantly. We started talking. 2 or 3 months later, I was on the highway. Me, my wife, my kids, his sisters and brothers. I loaded up the whole family and we went to Paris, Texas, where he lives at with his wife and children. And we stayed there for I think 3 or 4 days just to spend time. We did, we had food. We went out to eat. We went shopping.
Now, y'all know I couldn't give you the whole interview in just one whop. So stay tuned. Come back for part 2 of the interview. And then, of course, look forward to the interview that I had with Gangsta Moji's son as we talk about the ins and outs of the relationship and what actually happened. So until next time, I'm your girl, Miss Leda. I'm out this thing. Peace.